As much as we as lawyers like to think that we are not emotional and we can logically think our way out of things, when we're in that activated state, we can't think our way out of it necessarily. So it's this pause that allows us that space between the stimuli and then our reaction, that we can have a moment to then decide how we're going to respond and hopefully respond more skillfully.
Welcome to our Happy Rainmakers video series where point one can make a difference. Today, I'm really pleased to be joined by Kara Perry, who is the founder of Just Brilliant. And she is a coach, consultant, and speaker who focuses on lawyer wellness. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, you have this concept called the power of pause that I think is so helpful and fascinating. But in a profession that prizes speed and sharp thinking and getting so much work done, how does something as simple as a pause help?
Great question. And, if you had asked me this 5 years ago, I would not have known about the power of pause. But it's really what I like to explain is our nervous system. It's almost like it's sort of operating on sort of old software, right? Our nervous systems are very old, but we have a lot of new software, new things coming at us. So much different information from emails to all the different types of communications, texting, and everything. And our nervous system is constantly surveilling what's around us. And so this pause, just having this pause, really allows us to regulate ourselves in a very unregulated world. And so it's a really great way to get from a sympathetic nervous system into our parasympathetic nervous system and have a rhythm, because we need stress in our life. It's not that stress is bad in and of itself. It helps to motivate us to get things done, but we also need to come back and regulate into that rest. And just a simple pause can help us do that.
So, you say that a simple pause can actually enhance legal skills. It can help with decision making, advocacy, negotiation, all the things that lawyers want to be their very best at.
Yes. And it really is just this little micro practice that when we start learning about the neuroscience and how our brain really works, when we're in that sort of agitated state, which a lot of times can happen, just opposing counsel says something, that the wrong way or that is really trying to inflame you, maybe. We automatically sort of go into the lower brain, and we might have more automatic responses. So our lower brain, our middle brain, and our prefrontal cortex can kind of go offline. As much as we as lawyers like to think that we are not emotional and we can logically think our way out of things, when we're in that activated state, we can't think our way out of it necessarily. So it's this pause that allows us that space between the stimuli and then our reaction, that we can have a moment to then decide how we're going to respond and hopefully respond more skillfully than we might otherwise. It really can help us get out of our habitual reactions.
You teach a practice called stop. Can you walk us through that and maybe even share a moment where it's made a difference for you?
Yes. And this is not my practice. There are many amazing mindfulness teachers who have taught this. And so, but it is a really quick, like I said, there's micro practices that I like to say, try and sprinkle them throughout your day that can help us. And so the idea is really the acronym stands for literally stop. When you're feeling, and we really feel things, we think that we kind of just think through them, but when you start to connect with your body, you can sense that you feel that fear or anger, feeling it in your body. So just stop and take a breath. So that can be a nice deep inhale through the nose, because through the nose is better at resetting our nervous system. It allows more oxygen to come into our brain. And so that deep breath, that's that pause. And then we observe. So giving yourself that moment to really connect to your body to see what's going on, to feel what's going on. And it's in that period of time that you have that opportunity to really decide how you want to then proceed. And I've used this. I always say this is a great one to use, and it can be really quick before you enter the courtroom, the boardroom, absolutely before you enter your teenager's room. I highly recommend it. Um, but it is one that if you have a situation like I've had when I was going to my first class teaching my ironically wellness and mindfulness class, stuck in a ton of traffic, arrived just before the class started, and I hadn't been able to log in to have my PowerPoint all set up. And it's in those moments, right, where we really aren't even thinking. I couldn't think of my password in that moment. I was in such a panic state, and I just practiced that. Stopped, took the breath, noticed that I was in that state, which allowed me then to proceed to remember the password, which ironically, that's what happens, not ironically, but that's exactly what happens, is that the prefrontal cortex comes back online and you can recall information and you can just proceed.
Well, thank you so much. I know it's going to be helpful to a lot of people.